Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make these really easy to make oven mitts. But before we get started, if you like this panel quilt that's hanging behind me, at the end of the video I'll give you the information where you can purchase the fabric and also the link to the video so you can make this really pretty holiday quilt. So let's get started. Now you can use any oven mitt pattern that is out there. They're all about the same. There's not one that's better than the other. So this is the one I'm using. It is Simplicity 2753. The first thing you want to do when you purchase your pattern is take it out of the package, lay it out, and then place your hand on top of it and see if it's going to fit. Now, I have very small hands. This oven mitt is way too big. So if you need to make it smaller, you could just fold the pieces, kind of like an accordion fold it over, and then of course the thumb is too small or too big. Then lay your hand in there, and if you need to refold it, you can do so. So this is about a comfortable fit for me. Now on my husband, this pattern is too small. So if you want to make it longer, you could just cut along here and pull the pattern piece out. I think it's easier just to kind of cut out past the cut line here, just cut out there a little bit longer. Now he also needed it wider. You could just cut the pattern in half and move it out like that, or I think the easiest is just cut a little bit farther out from the cutting line and then cut it accordingly to what you need to do. Now when you get it, you need to of course read how many pieces you need to cut out. This says to cut 2 of the fabric for the outside and 2 for the lining. Then you also need to cut 4 of fleece or batting. I recommend you cut 2 of the batting and then 2 of Insul-bright. This is Insul-bright here. It's very shiny on one side and dull on the other. And Insul-bright is got synthetic material inside of it that helps to block the heat. So this is why I recommend that you use this. You can purchase this on the internet. I do know that Joann Fabric and Crafts carries it, and of course Joann.com. So it's very worthwhile to put this in your glove. So for each glove you would need 2 Insul-bright and 2 cotton batting. Now when you're cutting your fabric out for the outside of the oven mitt, bring your your selvage edges together. So it's now folded in half just like it was when you purchased it. Then take the folded edge and fold it towards the selvages like that. And then lay your pattern down. Now this is if you're making a pair of gloves. You're going to make 2 gloves. So go ahead and pin your pattern down and make sure your arrow is going straight on the grain, and then go ahead and pin it down and cut it out. So now you have the fabric cut for the outside for both gloves all at the same time. Do your lining fabric the same way. I'm just going to use plain fabric. Now before you get started stitching, you need to change the presser foot on your sewing machine to a walking foot. This is a walking foot. Now not all walking feet fit all sewing machines, so if you don't have one, make sure that it's going to work with your particular model of machine. You can purchase them on the internet or go to your local sewing machine supply store and have them order one for you. How to layer your fabrics. You first want to lay down the lining fabric that goes on the inside, then the cotton batting and Insul-bright, and it doesn't matter which one is laid down first. Then place your fabric for the outside. Then place pins around the edges because we're going to do a zigzag stitch to hold all the pieces together on the edge. So do a zigzag stitch. Here it is right here. This is a zigzag stitch, and do it around all of your pieces. And then after you've done that, you want to do some quilting stitches. Now here's what it looks like from the front, but to see what it looks like, you can look on the back side. And all I did was start in the corner. You can use a straight stitch or a curved stitch, and you just start in the corner and go at a diagonal like this. Okay, all the way across. Then go back and start in this corner and go all the way across. Do that on both the front and back portion of your oven mitt. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that if you wanted a little loop on the oven mitt so that you can hang it up on the wall, you need to do that, make the loop, and then put it into the seam as you stitch your seam up. So let me go over how to make your loop. Cut a strip that's 7 inches long, and then at your ironing board you're going to fold this side and this side in towards the middle so that it looks like this. So fold it in, both pieces, and press as you fold. Then fold it again and press, and then stitch right along this edge right here. Now bring the oven mitt front and back pieces together. So you're bringing front sides of both of those sections together, and you should be looking at your lining on both sides right now. Now I recommend that you use these little quilting clips that are here. This is really thick now, so it's going to be difficult to put straight pins through. If you don't have the clips and you're not willing to buy them, use the longer straight pins than the really short little stubby ones, because it's not going to hold. At the end of the video, I will let you know where you can purchase these. Now, do a 3/8 of an inch seam all the way around the edges, except for, of course, the opening. At least that's what the seam is recommended for the pattern that I am using. After you've stitched around it, then you want to take a small pair of scissors like this, and you're going to cut from here in, right in here. Now don't cut through the stitch line, so go ahead and cut, and it's going to be difficult to stitch through all these layers. You may have to do one little layer at a time. Then after you've done your little slit here, then go ahead and turn your oven mitt front side out. Now you need to measure the circumference of the upper portion of your oven mitt. So take a tape measure and measure it all the way around. Mine came out to 12 inches. So I'm going to add 1 inch to that measurement. So mine cut was a 13-inch strip, and it's 3 inches wide. So whatever your measurement is, add 1 inch for a seam allowance and cut it 3 inches wide. Then take each edge here and fold it over 1/2 inch and press as you fold, and do this side also. Then bring both sides together and press it in half. Then open it up and fold it in half, bringing the two edges together. So open it all the way up and then stitch 1/2 inch in from this raw edge in. Now you want to fold it over the upper edge of the oven mitt. So pin it down, and at the seams, let me see if I can get it there, you want to make sure you have the seam open. So pin that open as you're folding this around. Now another thing you need to be careful of is that the side of this bias tape that's on the inside needs to be pulled down enough so that when we stitch along this edge here, it will catch the edge of this. So now I'll show you how to set your sewing machine up. Now, if on your sewing machine you have some sort of a storage rack behind back here, you need to remove it so that you have just the arm of the sewing machine free, and then slip the glove right onto that. It'll be so much easier to manipulate the glove going around. So place your glove in there, lower your needle in where you want to start, and you're going to stitch just inside this edge right here. Well, here they are. I thought they turned out really nice. Now, I made them out of Christmas fabric, but you can make this out of any cotton fabric that you like. But I picked Christmas because I really wanted to kind of brighten up my kitchen for the holiday season. Now, if you like this Christmas panel quilt that's hanging right here, the link is appearing right about now in the upper right hand corner. It'll take you to the video and you'll get instructions on how to make it. And you can get the panel fabric at Joann Fabrics and Crafts or Joann.com. Now, if you liked this video, click on thumbs up. Also, click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right hand corner. Click on the bell so you receive email notifications about my latest video that has been released. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing.